sum this up, right? Like we look at the generation before us and they didn't know what to do with our weaknesses. They didn't know what to do with like the things that got on their nerves, the things that got us in trouble at school, the things that like got us a whooping at home. And the reality is what we're really showing is like our true personality and our strengths.
Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Man Think podcast, where we elevate our black men because the black man be out here thinking. I am your host, last name Good, but my homies call me JD. And to my left, I got my dog.
It's your boy Motown here. How we doing tonight, people?
Man, so good, so blessed, so highly favored.
Indeed.
Shout out to Corey and Tori, man. They out this week, but they ain't gonna be here next week either. So, gonna be gone too. Who knows? You know, we might get something next week. We'll see what it is. But yeah, man. Before we go anywhere, make sure y'all subscribe, rate, review, and shout out to everybody that's been coming over to YouTube, bro. We almost at 1,000 followers on YouTube. So
love it.
Let's see if we can get that 1,000 and beyond. We appreciate y'all. We're really trying to build out YouTube. We owe and we didn't know the value. So we trying to
look.
No, bro, because we do good on the audio side, but like, no, man, y'all got to watch the video. So subscribe to YouTube, please. And if you want bonus content, subscribe to Patreon as well. Patreon.com/.
Hey, it's some good bonus content on there too. So just the last few weeks kind of been quite a journey through our past. So please check that
out. Definitely. Also, if you want to leave a voicemail, 404-939-6477. So like always, man, we doing sip of the week. What is this?
Yeah, man, we do sip of the week, man. We
been a while.
We in the islands tonight. You know what I'm saying? Little rum.
Okay.
Little rum diddy dum, Yeah,
that's cool. That's pretty
Florida
good.
Cana, so Kanya.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Shout out to them, man. I need to be on the island somewhere.
Bruh, listen, it's time. Time.
It's so time, man. I'm like, and I told you, we doing a little vacation next week. The kids on spring break, so we're gonna go and do like a little quick trip with them.
Okay.
Then me and wife are gonna do a little quick trip. Then back home. So
yeah.
But looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to wrap my head around the vacation for the kids, because you know how that go with the kids. They don't really. I'm like, how can I make this a vacation for me as well? Like, I got to find some moments of escape.
That's always a tough one.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what pace you at. Like, for instance, like we'll sometimes take the kids down to the little Wolf Lodge or whatever.
Great Wolf Lodge,
right?
We actually going to Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do
the
the other one though. We're doing the one in North Carolina.
Okay. See, I ain't never been to that one.
Yeah.
However, what you do is this Black Man Think podcast.
Here we go.
So it's all about them all day. I'm talking about from sunrise when you arrive straight to the park. Y'all got younger ones than we do, so y'all still in that phase where you kind of got to follow them around the park a little bit. So you locked in, pizza, whatever it is, feed them, get them back to the room, changed up, dinner, wherever that is, inside, outside, depends on, what your situation is. You let them get back to the room. You turn the movie on.
Okay.
Everybody got to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Babe, you go ahead and get cleaned up. Matter of fact, I'm going to head back downstairs real quick. The girls, they're watching the movie. Do your thing. I'm going to run down to the bar real quick.
Got you.
Don't come back. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, but yeah.
You take a minute, though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Either that or you see it through until they're settled, and then there's a few options at Great Wolf. Like they got the coolers where you can go get like the little pre-mixed things or whatnot.
Yeah,
you can bring it back, depending on what your room setup is. And if it's not ideal with kids in the room, then just tap out.
Yeah, man. Because, the thing about those particular trips, especially if it's just y'all and the kids, and I got young kids, so it's not like I can get them a separate room. Like they in the room with us. So like even if we do like a suite situation, like the last time we did Great Wolf Lodge, they had like a cutoff area for the kids with like bunk beds.
I love
the
that.
TV. Yeah, so that was great because they kind of feel like they're in their own space, and then you can be in your own space. But you know how it is, bro. When it's lights out, even on vacation, lights out at like 9, 10-ish, if you're being lenient, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, bro, I'm not tired at 9 o'clock. And it's dark. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I got to kind of do what you're talking about. Just like, all right, everybody settle. All right, but I'm about to go out here and catch the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll, text me if you need me type thing.
Only other thing I'll say, now that's how it starts. If that's not ideal, let's say like, wife is like, nah, we need to stay together, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You put the movie on for them, lights down, you go grab you something, bring it back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
They in the little cove area watching their movie, or they go to sleep at whatever point they go to sleep. You wifey, you chill out, bring the iPad out or the phone. Y'all watch something. One earbud on both sides.
Yeah. Okay.
Have your little something, and just it's a few things you can do.
I got you.
Now, what's typically not gonna happen in that situation is like you and wife, you ain't gonna.
Oh yeah. No,
they ain't getting no buns.
No buns on vacation.
No buns
Man.
on family
Ain't that
vacation.
It's just that's so whack. I mean, when you think about it, but depending on how your life set up and how
your room set up.
Your room set up, y'all family dynamic, whatever.
Now, in my case, where we got a lot of kids, 9 times out of 10, we go to Hilton Head. We got to get a little like multi-bedroom type of situation going
Airbnb
on.
is probably the best.
Airbnb, usually one of the best option. You tend to be all right. You tend to make it through.
Yeah,
pretty,
you can make it through whatever.
Make it through that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, hotel room, bro. It's just you cold, bro.
just look, just hang in there, my boy. Hang in there.
If the moment arrives at the hotel room, bro, like, hey, I'm not judging you, bro. Like, that's do what you do, but in most cases, it ain't gonna go down. But
pro tips,
yeah, absolutely. But homeboy, check in, man. How you doing, bro? How you been?
Doing well, man. Doing well. New season, new things, man. New balance. New space, just new branding, all of it, So,
feel that.
If you know, but things are going extremely well. Really getting locked in, and family's doing great. Health is doing well. So, got to find my regimen again, though. Just balance in terms of exercise, rest. I mean, getting more rest than I was. So, that's a good thing. But yeah pretty good. But yourself?
Pretty much the same, man. Just trying to been doing a lot of restructuring, like as far as like on the business side, and trying to do more with less. And so, one of the things for y'all that don't know, if this is your first time here, like I own a vending machine business, and that earlier journey, just like at the height, we had like 22 locations, right? And it sounds good, but it's just overwhelming, over demanding. And then you end up in a space where, yes, you got 22 locations, but you really 12 of them really the ones that's like popping.
Sure.
And, so you got a bunch of like breadcrumb type, so what we did last year, we really focused on getting rid of the breadcrumbs. And like now we've gotten to a good space of like, all right, this is a good core. I actually just sold a location yesterday, bro. Like one that was all the way in Woodstock.
Oh man, that's
you see what I'm saying? So it's just like where I'm at, and you talking about going to Woodstock, bro. It's just like that's not the way to be efficient in running the business. Like I can't keep going up there when something happens. So that was a lot of it, just trying to condense down and like really maximize my area. Like be the king of South Fulton, bro. Like don't try to be all over. So that's been the goal. So trying to do that now, and now that I know how to do the business, just kind of figure out better ways to make things run more smooth. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's been like past couple of weeks what I've been on for real, man. So, but yeah, outside of that, same. Just trying to, I slacked off on the gym for the past 2 weeks, so I'm gonna be slack. Actually, I'm not gonna be slack next week. I'm gonna find room to do exercising on vacation. I think I need to make a point to do that. But I've been kind of like, I've been going to the gym, but just like bare minimum.
Yeah.
Not like maximizing it.
You know what I just decided recently? I'm gonna give me some new clubs.
Okay.
I think it's time for me to like take it seriously.
All right.
I may even try to do some lessons here and there, but
Okay.
yeah, when the season warm up, bro, I'm gonna be out there with you a little more often. So
no, let's do it, man. Yeah. Let's do it. Golf is life. Golf is hard, but it's a great workout. You know, it's great for the emotional and physical health, all of that, because you outside, bro, in the elements.
Yeah.
Nature, seeing all those things is always great.
Yes, sir.
What
we on tonight?
Well, what we on tonight is, it's been a hot topic for the past couple of weeks, but it just started to steam up a little bit more this past week. T.I. and 50 Cent, right?
Let them know.
Yeah, man, let them know. Shout out to T.I. Like, y'all don't know, we from Atlanta, bro. Like, we are Georgia boys to the core, so you already know where we riding. But I wanted to like kind of look at it in a different way, in a different lens, because as time progressed, it went from T.I. and 50 Cent going back and forth to like T.I. and his sons being included.
Just dropping mixtapes.
They just dropping joint. You know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to talk about that dynamic, right? Like ego versus leadership, and like our fault, like us being fathers. Are we really leading our son? I don't have any sons, but you know what I'm saying? Like, are we leading our sons in the right direction?
Yeah.
Or are we allowing them to be influenced by like our ego? You know what I mean? So, looking at everything that happened, because, everybody have their own reason. And you, at this point, you should know what happened. I don't think we need to recap what happened with T.I. and 50 Cent and King and the money. And I thought Buddy Red was about to drop something. It's, started from there. So like looking at legacy and I guess we don't look at it from a public standpoint because we're pretty private with our kids, but just trying to have this conversation in the mindset of like, how do you deal with legacy in fatherhood?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Because with this particular situation, just kind of as a baseline conversation, obviously both grown men, have seen the pinnacle of their career, right? Like,
right.
And that was really during our heyday, like during our time. Probably a lot of our thinkers who listening in, probably during your time. We talking like mid 2000s up to probably almost the mid 2010s. You know, like a decent run between a probably 6 to 10 year run. Tip had his peak year over year, album over album. 50 definitely owned hip hop for a brief time, I would say, compared to others. But the success level shot him through the roof. And then, he maximized that beyond. On the other side, Tip may have, in a way, stepped back, from spotlight for a time, and eventually made his way back in. His career more or less kind of, having kind of the ups and downs. Always a relevant name, always finding himself way to reinvent himself, whether on TV, comedy, movies, so in a large degree, both men have proven themselves successful beyond bars, right? And both have built a legacy for whomever they have in their lives. Now, Tip's family is in public, right? We know their family. We see them. We've seen them on TV. We follow them. We watch shows.
Watch them grow up.
Them grow up. Yeah. Honestly, literally grow up.
Yeah.
So, and now he has men as now his boys are men. I should say that, and also rappers, of course. And so, Tiny obviously had her successful career, one of the greatest successful R&B groups of our time. You know what I'm saying? Also Atlanta based. So shout out to the A all day for these things. But to your question, when you bring in legacy, really, I think the first question is like, what are you aiming to pass down? Are you aiming to pass down your status? Are you aiming to pass down values? Is it money? Is that the only thing that you're really concerned about? Is it okay? Let's take it a different approach. Is it your family drama? Is it, your trauma? what is it that you're passing down? I think, no matter what level of life, whether you call yourself celebrity, whether you call yourself a nobody, and anything in between,
Right.
You kind of have to really weigh what's going with me, and then like what am I leaving behind, for my offspring, or for anybody figuratively as my offspring, anybody in my life that is going to be impacted by the way I live my life now. Like, what am I leaving behind?
I mean, I think you bring up a valid point, bro. Like, what are you leaving behind? Because at the end of the day, no matter if you're a public figure or, just a average Joe, your kids are watching what you're doing. So it's kind of like, am I teaching them how to be leaders, or am I teaching them how to argue? Like, which one of these things am I really doing?
Right.
And I think ultimately, bro, like, we have to lead by example. And part of leading by an example is admitting your faults, because there's a thin line. Like, think about it, right? Like, am I teaching my kids to stand up for themselves, stand up for their mom, stand up for their dad, or am I teaching them to like attack? Right? Because if we keeping it a buck, right? At the end of the day, this is all entertainment. We know nothing is going to happen, right? Like, at this point in our lives, we know all of these people have way more money than they ever could have imagined. They're not going to do anything to mess that money up. So we know it's all entertainment.
For all we know, it could be planned.
It could be planned. It could be planned. And T.I. kind of said that's how this started.
Right.
Like, hey, we're going to do this thing, and, I'm going to jump out there first, and then, we'll go back and forth, and we'll get everything done. So technically, this could lead to that, even though I don't think 50 is going to engage, especially not at this point. Like,
not on bars.
You said something in a group chat, like, 50's committed for 10 years and going to T.I. Like, the next 10 years, he's going to go at him.
50 has just committed at least a decade to doing the research on Tip.
Oh, yeah.
And we will see a documentary on Tip's gun charge and all the other things.
Oh, man, all of it.
It's coming. That's how petty he is. So just get ready.
So let me ask you this then. At what point does pride become immaturity?
Woo. Oh, man. I think at the point where your ego is too big for the moment. I think pride becomes immaturity when your ego gets too big for the moment. The reality is, like, we're seeing in real time, we're watching a ego battle, right?
Yeah.
Tip, who put himself out there thinking that there was an agreement between two gentlemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see 50 almost double cross in a way, right?
Right.
And 50 be 50, become a troll.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that honestly could be taken as shocking and an ego trip is Tip taking it so personally. Now, we don't know all the details.
Right. That's true.
There could be more to the story. I'm pretty sure we haven't heard everything.
Yeah.
We don't know the background. We don't know the relationship and so on and so forth, right? We just get a glimpse of what we hear on podcasts and on social media and so on and so forth. However, what we saw was a very a real reaction that has turned into, like, and honestly is embedded in the ego trip to begin with, because we're talking about a versus battle, right?
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, a versus battle is all about my catalog better than your catalog.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and I put all my money on that. So, it's interesting though to see the level to which T.I. would go off rip, just because 50 was like, laughable, please, like, your catalog can't touch mine. I don't even have time for you, dog. Like, and Tip was like, hold on. And then he kind of went hard off top.
Yeah, like immediately. Yeah. And I mean, in all fairness, right? Because like I said before, I'm riding with T.I. on this whole thing in general, but we got to look at this point, 50 is no longer invested in music.
Correct.
T.I. is at this point. So T.I. is going to do whatever it takes to amplify that he has a project coming out, amplify that he has like a song that's trending up on Hot 100, Billboard 100. Like,
what a better time to get into a battle.
that's what I'm saying. And you know, say what you want to, but 50 is still 50. Like his name still holds weight in a space to where if you say 50, people are still paying attention. It's not like you are talking about somebody that don't really move the needle in music, right? Like, even though 50 is focused on film and television, his name still rings bell when it comes to music.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it. T.I. is doing what he's supposed to do in this moment. Like, hey, I got an album coming out. I need to amplify this. However I need to amplify it. Let's go. But it did take a personal turn.
Correct.
And with that, you know, don't get me wrong, bro. Like, hey, I've said this before. Like, the only way that I crash out at this point in life is probably if you do something to my wife or my kids.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't knock T.I. you know what I'm saying? I get it, bro. Like, I mean, I'm 41, bro. You can step on my shoes, bro. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if you touch my wife, there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it, you know. But we just have to, there's a thin line, I guess, to the point to where you got to know what's entertainment and what's like, all right, bro, he playing.
Yeah, and I guess it's interesting in this scenario just because, yes, there was a direct disrespect to not only your wife but like the mother of your very public children.
Yeah.
Your very public children, who some of them are very much easily triggered.
Right.
Which, as a parent in that situation, you almost have to insert yourself in a way that becomes Papa Bear, right? Like you have to step out front of it before your children step out into a battle that they may or may not be prepared for.
So, I mean, you actually jumped the gun. I was gonna ask that question, like, as a father, when do you step in? And so I like you say, you got to know your kids, you know what I'm saying? Because there are battles that you have to allow your children to handle on their own. Right. But if you know your son a hothead, hey, bro, like,
you almost got to set the tone in a way that almost recalibrates the moment.
Okay.
So for instance, like sitting back watching this, honestly, I feel like I am on one end watching Tip handle business directly, man to man, on some, like, he's saying everything that he's gonna say about 50. He's saying what he feels, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's being very vocal with it, very bold, doing it in a very creative way, right? Now, obviously, he's released 3-4 different snippets on social media. We lose quality every time. Let's just call it what it is, right? And at this point, I mean, I feel like he's just playing with him. Like, he's just like, I went in, I did a whole bunch of bars. You're not taking it seriously. I'm just going to clown you until further notice, until I get tired. First one that came out, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, give me the whole record, bruh. Put 2 Chainz on there. Let me hear Ross. Like, little baby, give me a record off that one. That's single number 2. That thing was crazy. Toomp had to produce it. I don't know if that's been confirmed or denied yet, but the way Toomp posted it, I felt like it had to be Toomp.
Yeah, I mean, he even shouted Toomp out on the record, so I'm gonna assume that it's Toomp.
Correct. The way them horns was hitting, that sounded like Toomp.
I was waiting to hear the ride. Ain't hear the ride.
That ride didn't come on that one.
The ride was on there. We would have known for sure. But let me see, because the song did post. Let's see. Oh, okay, well, I know that's not right. They said producer T.I. Well, no, because T.I. do produce, but I don't think T.I. produced that one.
Nah.
No shots to T.I., but I'm just saying. Yeah, it say produced by T.I., composed and vocals, but that seems like that's kind of like, you know.
Yeah,
we just giving you that for
it. Hadn't been confirmed yet, but we just gonna say that's Toomp for now.
Yeah, it sounds like Toomp to me.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like he had to jump out front to almost name, like, this is only a battle.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, these shooting words. These, let me make a call and somebody gonna visit so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost feel like there's some intentionality behind him staying in this lane so that it doesn't go further than that.
I feel that. I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's like, I'm gonna stay present, so you know, like, okay, because I also think that T.I. wholeheartedly know that 50 is not going to engage in that way. 50 is going to do what he's already doing. And if you follow this, he's changed his narrative a little bit more. Like now he's posting his successes. Like it's just going like, oh man, like another show got picked up.
Right.
This right here, you know, so and that's what 50 do. He's gonna do that for like 2 weeks. And then when everything kind of die down, he might throw a casual jab at Ja Rule or a casual jab at Floyd Mayweather, you know, his enemies of his that he's accumulated over the years. You know, that's just what 50 does, bro. But I think it's entertaining at the end of the day. And I'm also in that space of like, bro, we all grown. It needs to stay where it's at and it doesn't need to spill off of social media or off of these records. Like, let's just keep it at that and have friendly banter and keep it moving. But kind of, you know, changing gears and going back into like the family dynamic, right?
Yeah.
You are learning. We learn so much stuff from like our peers and also like our family dynamic. And I just want to ask the question, is there anything in your lifetime that you felt like you had to like unlearn from your pops?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's probably a few things. I won't name all of them on the pod, you know, just out of respect. Because I don't even know if I've honestly had open dialogue about this before.
No, with your dad or like
yeah.
Okay.
Just like open with him, but even open just in general. Like I think it's all kind of just been something that I'm processing, you know.
Got you.
Yeah, like so many things that had to do with like marriage, being vocal, you know. It's so many things that like I learned that are like invaluable. Where some of those things I even wish I had the character. You know what I'm saying, to maintain. And yet, you know, there are other things where I'm like, all right, this is either not for my generation, or this is not necessarily for my household, not for my time, not for my marriage, not the way I want to approach it as an individual.
Yeah.
You know, not the way I want to be with my kids or whatever. And granted, like I think if there was something that my dad was the greatest at, it was being a father.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
sure.
like that's like if I had a list of things that he did great, like that's probably number one on his list.
Yeah.
You know, without question. Not too far down from that. I mean, he was a great husband too. You know, I feel like he made some mistakes, and he'll say that, he knows that, and just different things. You know, even just growing up in that household and being able to see the demeanor between my mom and my dad at times and different things of that nature, and yet they're still together. We both got to see our parents stay together. You know, which was not everybody's story. You know, so we're blessed to be able to see that. And my dad's also a pastor. He's also been a leader in the community and different things, and so. You know, I watched him ebb and flow through different challenges there and watched him overcome so many things. So nothing but respect. He when somebody asks me like, who's your hero? That's the first person that gets named.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not even a question,
Yeah.
you know? But I've also realized like, I can't just duplicate him in my life and expect the same results. Like I have to find my own path, and I have to live it the way that I am only going to be able to live it for me, and take the lessons learned, but use those lessons in this space without like duplicating the way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it, bro. I know for me, there's of course there's like several things, because our generation is a completely different generation. Like we're the generation of like identifying that our parents made some mistakes.
Correct. Like we name it.
Yeah, like I don't think our parents realized that their parents made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like because they grew up in a time of like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like your grandmother was just trying to make it.
Right.
And so your mom and your dad were just like under like they were in survival mode. I think we are the first generation of like identifying that like, no, you probably shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we are raising our children completely different than the way that we were raised.
A key difference is like, because I said so versus here's why.
Yep.
That's a key. That's the most simple difference you can see in a generation.
And it happens to me daily with my kids, because like my girls will be, especially like my oldest, she's quick to be like, but why?
Yeah.
And I remember growing up as a kid, and to be fair, my mom was always the more of the disciplinarian than my dad. But like I couldn't ask, I didn't have the liberty to ask why.
Bro, the consequence alone.
Yeah, bro. Like, and the fact is, like, knowing that I couldn't even ask why, I didn't even ask why. So I can't
even want to know.
Yeah, so it's like I can't even like fault my parents and be like, oh, you never even explained stuff to me. I was just like, it was already, hey, adults say something, it's like it is what it is, and like you just got to live with it,
right?
You know, but if I'm just like thinking of, I have two things specifically that I had to unlearn, and they're not necessarily like bad things. They're just things that I saw, observed, and I just thought that's just how things were. And like as I got older, I'm realizing like there are things that my parents' dynamic like I would never do, and one of them is like to this day, and I haven't even had this conversation with my mom. So if she see this, Mom, call me and then because I'm not gonna call you and say let's have this conversation. So, but I'm just being honest. But my mom poured so much into my dad to the point where I don't even know what my mom likes.
Wow.
I don't like, outside of just like, I know my mom likes to shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know my mom's interest. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's so crazy, bro. Like, I don't think I ever realized that until you just said that. I could say the same thing.
I don't know my mom. Outside of, like, I know my mom likes to shop. Like, that's her thing. But, like, outside of shopping, I don't, like, my mom, earlier on, she was, like, she worked like a nursing assistant. And she got hurt on the job. And, like, so my mom hasn't, like, physically worked a job outside of, like, helping my dad since I was like maybe in like middle school, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe middle school, early high school. I can't remember exact time, but you know, I mean, I'm 40, bro, 41. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I just know that she was always helping my dad, like helping my dad do taxes, helping my dad do like, you know, it was always helping my dad. But I was like, you know, it hit me maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, bro, I don't even know what my mom like to do. Like, I don't know what she want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just think she kind of just like, oh, I got hurt on the job. I ain't, you know.
Do you know what to get your mom for her birthday, or like for Christmas, or like does she like gifts?
Oh no, my mom. That's her love.
That's
her love
thing.
language. Her love language. I know that her love language is she likes to give love by gifts.
Okay.
And I think she does that because that's the way that she likes to receive love.
Okay.
Like she likes to receive her love through gifts. And I know it for a fact because there's times where like my mom would just say something. I was like, you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna do that. And I'm like, what? You know, but that's
so she likes thoughtful, or does she like specific things?
Probably a mixture of both. If I'm being honest, like probably a mixture of both. But I would say that was like one of the biggest things. Like I don't think my dad identified my mom's strengths outside of like, you know, taking care of the home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, and it wasn't no like, you can't go to work and then like that. It was just like, oh, you got hurt on the job. All right, babe, like, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, versus me, I've never even considered my wife not following her dreams. Like my wife said she always wanted to work in the lab. I will never tell my wife not to work.
Yeah.
Because that's her dream. Her dream was, I always wanted to work in the lab. She finally got to that point in her career where she's working in the lab. Now I might be like, hey, we get to a space of like, hey, babe,
you ain't got to work.
You ain't got to work. Like, babe, you know, one day, like keep go in a couple times a month. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can't see myself telling my wife like, no, don't do no work because I want you to support what I'm doing. And my wife does support what I do. Like I don't want that to be clear. I'm not trying to act like my wife don't support. Like a lot of the things that I'm doing now are things that she saw first and she just like encouraged. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I could never imagine telling my wife like, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because that's your dream. Now, if your dream change and you decide like you don't want to do that anymore, I'm going to support whatever you want to do. Like she said, she wanted to start doing a podcast. I'm like, all right, I know how to do that. I'm gonna give you all the game that I can give you.
Yeah.
And let's build this. You know what I'm saying? So that's her baby. She's building that out, and I'm helping her in whatever way we can. But I just didn't see that growing up.
You know, one of the things I realized, like really me and my wife realized this, that we didn't see in the generation before us is couples working on their marriage. Like couples actually trying to like go through the process of learning how to become better in their marriage. Now, they did it without saying it, right? Like there was this relentlessness that they had, right? Where they pushed through. I think about a situation, man. My grandparents never divorced. But my grandmama has shot my granddaddy tires out probably a few good times.
Yeah.
Just to let him know, Ninja, if you don't bring your behind back home,
Right.
and get out these streets, next time it's gonna be a bullet in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she never left. And all the other things. But that was that generation. Passed down to the next generation where it was like, well, that's just your mama. That's just your daddy, you know? And now we look at our generation and it's like, well, let's go get counseling. Let's put these, principles into practice. Let's have level 5 conversation and dive deep.
Yeah.
Because I think we've lived in a generation where like scientific methods and processes and all these different things have come into play for us to help deal with our own trauma, but then to be able to understand each other's.
Yeah.
And it's like there's an intentionality in terms of working through our own issues and then so that we can like be a better collective together. Whereas the generation before us, they were just like, we just gonna ride this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was such a difference, man. And it's
So
like,
different.
So low key, I watched my parents deal with the same stuff today that they were dealing with 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And I'm sitting here like, y'all never have open dialogue about this. So but it's just the reality that is different.
Yeah, it's different, bro. Like their generation is full of unresolved traumas, number one. And it's just about the only thing that they know is divorce is not an option.
Correct.
That's all they know, which is a great thing. Like, so for them, they'll work through anything.
Yeah.
But their working through stuff could just be like, well, we just never talking about that again.
Right.
That could be their work through.
Facts, bro.
Their work through could be like, oh, that happened in 78.
Yep.
We just ain't gonna talk about it.
We ain't gonna talk about it. And guess what? Nobody else, the kids will never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's families that you don't even know your brother. It's your half brother,
Real
but it's
talk,
real
bro.
talk, bro.
No, it's real, man, bro. It's so much stuff that happen in families that just are not talked about, bro. Because I know that my mom and dad went through stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know what my mom and dad went through.
Man.
Like, if I'm like in a therapy session and my therapist telling me to like think deep, or there are things that you remember, I'm sure stuff will start pouring out. But nothing to the crazy, like nothing's like so crazy where I'm like, why that I'll be like, Mom, why you still with Dad? Or like, Dad, why you still with Mom? Like, it ain't stuff like that. But it's just like, I know y'all went through stuff because like me and my wife go through stuff.
Right. So
I know y'all went through stuff, but the one thing that I give all credit to my parents, if they ever got into, because I was you were the only child, but like in my household, it was just me for like 9 years until my little brother came. I got an older brother, but he didn't live with us. And so for 9 years, I would see my parents, they might get into an argument, but if they got into an argument, they would always make up in front of me.
that's dope.
Like always.
That's dope.
So like no matter what would happen, like they could be arguing behind closed doors. They'll come out, make up so I can see them making up.
No, that's great.
Like they've always, that's one thing that like they always did with that I took along with me. But I'm sure other things happened that they just was like, you know what? We're never telling the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how that go, bro. And it's just, my wife is so quick to correct those things.
Yeah.
Like, small example. My oldest got my other phone. Like, I got two of them. My oldest got my other phone. She was looking on the calendar because she wanted to see where we were going.
Yeah.
Because I told her mommy and daddy going out of town. So she's trying to look on the phone like, I know they put stuff in their calendar. So she goes to the calendar and trying to see where we're going. And she was like, Dad, are we going to Great Wolf Lodge? Because it's on the calendar. And so in that moment, I was like, damn, this is supposed to be a surprise. So I'm like, I can't confirm or deny. Like, I'm trying to jokingly, and I told Trina about it, and she was like, you know what? We need to just tell them we're going to Great Wolf Lodge. And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, what's the big deal? But she was like, I don't want the girls to think that daddy is lying to them about something that ain't that serious. Because I don't want them to grow up thinking that they can just lie to us about something that ain't that serious. And I was like, oh, I got to respect that.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
She told them, and we just like, was the surprise spoiled? Yeah. But the surprise being spoiled wasn't as big as them thinking that daddy's lying to them about something.
Interesting.
And I was like, yeah, I respect that. I can't, I get it, So, but yeah, they stop going to my phone.
It's just, I mean, it's a picture of, I would say, progression, right? Like I feel like we should be at this point in history where every generation allows the generation before them to like go through trial and error.
Yeah.
So that we can learn from that trial and error, whether they passed the tools down or not. 9 times out of 10, they didn't, right?
Yeah.
But we learned from watching, and then we got smarter. We got more intentional about, different things. We created systems around them, and then we delivered the tools and the resources to the masses, right?
Right.
So now we live in a generation where there are ways where corporal punishment, for instance, was like, not corporal punishment, we're just putting your hands on your kids at the end of the day. Generation that we came up in, end of the day, it was switches, it was belts, it was anything that they can get their hands on to whoop us with, extension cord, whatever it was. It was fully acceptable in society. And now there are other ways that we implement to try to connect with our kids.
Yeah.
And if they don't listen to them ways, then we go back to the last generation and get all the tools and the things that they had. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the part, just add on to that though. But when you have to get to the space of where you feel like you got to use those things, you instantly should feel guilty. And that's the difference.
That is the difference.
I don't think my parents ever felt guilty for giving me a whipping. Ever.
Bruh.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm not even gonna lie to my folks and say like they beat me, like they didn't. Yeah. Like I spent probably 60 to 70% of the time in the corner. Like that was my punishment. Like my parents would say like, hey, go to that corner, and I could be in that corner crying, trying to figure out why I'm in the corner. But they didn't like put their hands on me heavy like that. Like I did get some beatings like that, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like every time I did something wrong,
right,
the first thing was this. Like the first thing was go to the corner. And then eventually, if I'm still acting up or whatever, then I might get a couple of pops here and there, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think my parents ever felt bad. You know what I'm saying?
And now, but what's so crazy, the kids are different now.
Yeah, man.
Because now the kids will they will turn it against you quick. Bro. I don't even know how children at the age of 6, 7, not how they even know how to do that. It's almost psychological. When I tell you, my oldest son will turn any moment into a moment where everything's just matter of fact, both of my oldest, where it's just unfair. But we'll somehow find a way to turn on the waterworks. Bro, the other day I told Joshua that there were 2 apples of a certain type. We had 6 apples in the refrigerator. 2 were green apples.
Yeah.
Isabel grabbed 1 apple to eat tonight, and she doesn't like the other kind, so she put the other apple in her book bag for her snack at school.
Gotcha.
He eats the other kind. Daddy, I want this kind. No, she's the only one in the house that actually truthfully does not like that kind.
Yeah.
No, but it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it's not fair if I make her eat another kind or not have one because you want this kind. I said, at the end of the day, she can have both of them. Well, it's not fair. I said, that's right. It might not be fair because life is not fair. And sometimes it's not fair in your favor and sometimes it's not fair in hers. And I've made the decision. It is what it is. Bro, talk about crashed out. Bro. And I was sitting here psychologically, how do you even care that much?
Right.
Because at my age, so what?
All right, cool.
Cool.
I don't even want the apple anyway.
Right.
Going to get
it was principle. You know what I'm saying? But like to the point where like you breaking down in tears, and I'm just like, and I couldn't do nothing but say, you're gonna have to deal with it. Cause you're gonna have to learn a resilience in a way where like you realize this ain't even worth your tears.
Ain't worth it, bro. Dog. All right, so this past week I felt like I actually need to get paid from my kids' school because like we were there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Gotta hate them weeks.
Man, I hate them weeks, bro. Like, love, hate. Like they,
Yeah.
Like Monday, my kid had an art exhibition. So like we seeing her art displayed, and the next one, we had they had like a gym. It was a basketball game. Like that, they do exhibitions, different things. So the basketball one, Jade was in. As you know, Jade is an ultimate competitor. She don't like losing.
Yeah.
They got blew out, right? Like, it's like their class split into two teams. Dog, the clock hit 0. Mind you, they doing like 2-minute quarters. Like, you know what I'm saying? The score ended up being like 10-6 or something.
Right.
It wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
The clock in, Jade on the sideline, livid. She just like, she doing like this. Like, I don't know what she's saying. She just mad. She's just doing this, right? And I'm like, what's going on? And so at the end, they was like, hey, parents, y'all can come take a picture with the kids. So like, I'm going there and like, she's still doing this. She doing this to the teacher. I'm like, what's going on? Jay was like, Cameron won't pass the ball. That's what she said. The reason why we lost, Cameron won't pass the ball.
Bro, Cameron catching it right now, bro.
No, the whole, cause I was like, at first I didn't know she just that's all I knew she was doing. And I got up to her. She was like, yeah. I was like, Dad, we lost because Cameron can't pass the ball. He won't pass the ball. He's just trying to take all the shots. There are people wide open. If he just pass the ball, they can take the shot. If you pass the ball, they take the shot. I was like, okay, Coach Goodwin. Like, right. But in that moment, like I'm identifying that like, okay, my daughter's ultra like competitive, which is I'm never gonna try to knock that edge off because you need that.
Yep.
But at the other time, I'm like, hey, it is still a team sport. And even though he might be at fault on some of that, at the end of the day, y'all as a team lost. Ain't nothing you can do about it now. You can learn from it, move on, and try to do better on the next game. But like in this moment right now, you're showing like unsportsmanlike conduct right now. Like you got to get into a space of like pull Cameron to the side and be like, yo, Cameron, hey, we gotta pass the ball more to your teammates because your teammates can make some of these open shots. You can't just be like, Cameron need to pass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what she's on. So she got it, but she still was like pissed, bro. I was just like, this kid here, man, we got to keep her in sports. She's just super competitive, bro. It is what it is. I'm never gonna knock that edge though because I know what it means to be. It's just so funny though because like I'm competitive, but my wife is not competitive. So like my wife is just on some like, what is she doing? Like what's going on? And I'm identifying like, no, what you understand is this girl going to the league. Facts. She got that mentality. No, she got that mentality, dog. Like she's gonna make it. This is not her first moment. She's told her swim teacher that she's going to the Olympics. That's why I'm swimming fast. Like that's just what she's on, bro. It's funny though.
It's funny. What you're saying right now is almost a way to like sum this up, right? Like we look at the generation before us and they didn't know what to do with our weaknesses. They didn't know what to do with like the things that got on their nerves, the things that got us in trouble at school, the things that like got us a whooping at home. And the reality is what we're really showing is like our true personality and our strengths. So like my kids, right? The oldest is she's a seclusionist. Like she exists in the space without like really connecting with the people. And when I tell you it baffles us, but she is absolutely fine. And I every time I try to like figure it out, she's just like, I'm good. Like, and it's because like she's a super creative and an introvert at the same time. But like she's processing the whole thing and she has already figured out her way through it. My second one, his pride is out of this world. Like there's 2 alpha males that live in my home and I'm one of them,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he think he can square up with me. He really believes that. He
Yeah.
believes that he is right no matter what. And that's his level of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And he can do whatever he wants to do in this world. He's already proven that. He just got to figure out how to balance it.
Yeah.
The third one is persistent, meaning it don't matter how many times you say no, she's going to find another way to ask for it. And that persistence is something that she's going to need for the rest of her life because she's not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
The last one, his anger is crazy. He will snap, and not even like on anybody. He'll just like, he can be by himself. If something doesn't go right, whatever he's playing with gets thrown across the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
He will snap. But what I've realized is he's all about what's right. And when something is not right, he has a problem with it. So that's his character.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying all that to say, like, we're in a space now, even just our whole conversation tonight, right? Like how to lead your kids, how to guide your kids. I think you have to realize that the things that you couldn't figure out, the reactions, the pride, the ego, all that stuff comes from a place of like identity. And if anything, if there's one thing that you want your kids to become is who they are, is who they were created to be, not somebody else. So like you think about Tip and the kids that he has, obviously one is in the public, he, pops off at all times, but that's who he is. And you just got to move it in the right direction.
Yeah.
You got to make sure they know how to use it for something, use it to give back to society, use it to become something great, not necessarily something that will tear them down.
Yeah.
And everything that looks like a flaw or a fault now is not a weakness necessarily. It's just, it needs redirecting, but it's a part of who they are. And it's trial and error, bro. But when I tell you, it's paying attention, it's being intentional about paying attention, listening, and accepting like they are not you, they are not in your generation. We were not in our parents and they weren't in their ones before that. And you just got to respect it and you got to figure out who they are, who God made them to be, and try to direct it in the right direction.
Man, that's real, bro. That's real. With that being said, look, Black Man Think Podcast, make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube. Make sure y'all join our Patreon if y'all want bonus content. We actually about to go to Patreon real quick and talk some very personal stuff. I got some stuff I got to get off my chest that I can't tell y'all on the main episode. But y'all go to Patreon if y'all want to hear it. But yeah, we don't have an Ask a Black Man this week, but if you want to leave that, it's 404-939-6477. And remember, Black Man Think Podcast, where we elevate our black men because black men be out here thinking. We'll see y'all next week.
The Black Men Think Podcast.